My name is Bob Benson. I'm from the United States. Have been coming to Holland and Tilburg University since 1988, teaching in this MIM program, and it's a terrific honor. Actually, the class I'm teaching now is in the 27th class. The actual 25th anniversary was a year and a half ago. Somewhat. Some things are quite standard issues of things like IT's value and how you deliver IT effectively, but a lot of things are different, like the nature of the technology, and companies are different, using information in more different ways. And, so some things change, some of the basics don't change. I think the biggest change is this dispersion of IT into the business. And so things like tablets and smartphones and laptops and workstations throughout the company. There's so much more of that than there was 25 years ago. And it has made IT much more of a function, much more of an important function in business. Well, it's a challenge because the technology continues to change, so they have to be on top of the changing technology. But also the demands for it from the business are becoming larger and growing. So IT people have to be more knowledgeable about the business and more engaged with the business. I was actually making the connection 25 years ago. Typically there was a single IT organization that's provided everything to the company. Now, because of technology, you can get things on the internet. Many vendors are selling software solutions, many outsourcers. So the idea of a single monolithic IT organization is becoming less significant. It's one of many sources of IT for the business. Well, it's a complicated question because Pete Rivers likes to talk about the I and the T. If we talk about the T, the technology of it, the answer is not much, because managing the networks, managing the platforms and things like that, that's significant. But managing the I of it, managing the information of it, IT organization has to be more understanding, aggressive, and capable of managing the I part of it. That's really what the MIM program is about. I would say an evolution of a mindset. There's always been business and always using IT in some form, whether it was for fundamental things like payroll and accounting and marketing. But now direct customer contact, direct customer ordering, access to the entire set of customers for analytical purposes. All of those are evolutionary ideas, radical, but evolutionary nonetheless. And so it's not so much a complete change, but it's a deepening, making it more in depth. The students keep asking that question. What I teach is about how the people responsible for the use of information in the organization have to be capable of doing certain things. They have to be capable of planning. They have to be capable of translating strategy into terms that can be used to govern and plan for IT. They have to be able to perform. They have to be able to complete projects and complete them successfully. They have to be able to manage business change, the business process changes that are necessary. All of those are capabilities that people responsible for information in the organization have to be able to do. And that's what we teach in the program. Well, first of all, ask. So a lot of this is encouraging IT people to be proactive in reaching out and participating with a business. One of the things we teach is the idea of trust and partnership, how it's important to build relationships with the business. And so there's this proactive aspect of going out and finding out. Second part, and this actually happened in class this morning, one of the students said one of the benefits of this program is to introduce the students into the huge amount of information that's available in literature, in books, in other forms of it that they have access to here at the library that they really hadn't thought about before. And so if somebody is working, say, in the financial management field, find out what's being written about financial management. Read books about financial management. They're there. They exist. And all they have to do is find them. And that's a lot of what we teach about, is that proactive set of questions that we want to get at.
So actually it isn't about the technology anymore.
No. Well, the technology is a necessary condition, but that's not the issue. That's not the issue. It's basically a solved problem. You can buy the technology. That's easy.
The IT of the sector has changed the last years. One of the techniques that came around is Agile.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that helps to bring business and IT closer together?
A slightly different way of phrasing the question.
Okay.
Traditionally, and this is how IT developed, is new projects in IT took a relatively long period of time to complete. And in that long period of time, IT people and business people perhaps didn't talk together very much. They talked at the beginning, and maybe they talked at the end, but not so much in the middle. What Agile is a methodology. Well, it's more than that. It's a philosophy that, first of all, gets that conversation on a regular and very quick basis, maybe every week, maybe every couple of weeks. And it takes the project idea and says, instead of waiting 6 months for a result, let's get some preliminary results early, then some more results, and then some more results. And so it's a much more organic process of interaction, communication, identification of issues. And in that sense, it's really a mindset. As much as anything. But it's an exciting idea.
But it helps.
In the right context, it helps. It doesn't help for everything. Like everything else, it's not a one-size-fits-all business. But for the right situation, it's a terrific tool.
Okay. And you said something about trust as well, about building trust between business and IT.
Mm-hmm.
We had a question from an alumni as well about this. He said, isn't it only possible to build trust within small clans and not within a whole, what did he say, whole market, or is that wishful thinking too?
No, I think, again, Pete Rivers and I are working hard on some writing on this, and he makes the point very clear that there's organizational trust and there's individual trust. A lot of individual trust is person to person, basic on communication and that sort of thing, and that's not a scaled question. That's at the individual level. But there is organizational trust. To use a very hackneyed expression, do we trust McDonald's as a company? Well, the answer is I trust them to do what they say they're going to do. When I go and buy a hamburger, I expect to get the hamburger, and I expect it to be the same every time. That's a part of trust. It's a part of reliability, a part of expectations. I know that it's going to be met. So that's on the part of a big company. And it's not different one McDonald's to another. They all operate the same. So in that context, organizational trust is very possible with a large organization. It's based on credibility, based on performance. Do they do what they're going to say they're going to do? Do they behave themselves properly? And if all of those questions are yes, we can trust them. Okay, so that works. So there is organizational level trust and there is individual level trust.
Okay. And how do you build the trust?
Credibility. Most everything's based on credibility. Although there's also the elements of caring. If somebody doesn't behave well, that's a problem. But if you can't perform, if you can't get a project done, if systems fail, if the technology is unreliable, that's not a basis for trust. Trust is based on credibility. Do I do what I say I'm going to do? Do I do it reliably? Do I do it the same each time?
But if you look at IT for the last years, there are a lot of IT projects who don't deliver what they said or on time.
That's right.
And it looks like they are already behind with building the trust.
That is correct. That's a correct assessment. And so what do we do about it? There is a stage theory that says that you have to be able to do things in the proper order. You have to be able to run systems effectively. If you can't do that, nothing else matters. If you can do that, then you can worry about, can you get projects done on time? If you can't do that, then you can't go much farther in trust. But if you can get projects done on time, then can you get involved with tactical level business decisions, things about what the business needs to do. If you can't do that, then you can't go beyond that. The point is that there's a evolving level of trust depending on being successful in credibility at each of the lower levels. It's first, making systems run properly. Second, getting projects done. Third, participating in planning discussions. Fourth, getting involved with innovation and that sort of thing. But you can't do those without being able to do them.
So companies and IT departments have to start at the...
Well, they certainly have to evaluate how they're doing. And if they conclude that they can't do it at the lower levels, that's got to be a priority.
Okay. And if you look at General, how are they doing it now?
At General?
Yeah, General, is there something to say about it, or is it general, something about the IT department in general?
Most IT departments, the status of the industry today is, I'd say most IT organizations can indeed run applications well. They know how to operate things. There's a whole body of knowledge how to do that. But at the next level, can everybody get projects done on time? That's harder. I would say that's a mixed environment, okay? Third, can they participate in the business planning discussions? That's even harder. We have cultural issues, language issues, understanding issues, and that sort of thing. So there's a real growth curve involved in all of that. But at the first level, probably pretty good, okay? Second level, third level, okay, it gets harder. But those are important goals for IT.
Okay. Is there an end goal? Is it because when we talk about alignment between business and IT, is it ever going to happen?
Well, that's again a more complex question because in many ways turbulence, which is unexpected change, both in IT and in business, makes the concept of alignment a much, in one sense, less helpful, and in a second sense, much more dynamic discussion. Because we can say, hey, we're aligned, but then things change. Well, we have to be able to respond to those changes. And so the words we're starting to use is dynamic capability. Do we have the dynamic capability to respond to business change? And that's a new form of alignment, actually. It's not substantive. Yeah, we're aligned to those business issues. It's, yes, we can respond to whatever those business issues are. And so it is, in essence, things are changing.
Okay, so we're never finished.
Well, no, but that's good because we always have something to do.
Okay, so someone sees this interview and he is inspired and he wants to start right away with bringing IT and business together. What is the first step he has to make?
Call me. But no, the real first step is, it's a parallel problem. One is, do I have the skill sets necessary to do the things I need to do? That's an individual question. That's also an organizational question. But the second question is assessment. Where do I stand? And taking a careful look at what my current situation is and what do I need to work on. 1, 2, 3. It's not a magic thing. You don't turn a level and turn a lever and it goes. But it does require understanding where we are, what my skill sets are, where the gaps are, and now let's do something about it. The doing something about it, research, talking to peers, taking programs like this.
Okay.